I hope you like this little demo. You can play around with this tool in the first lesson of my course, of my A1 to B1 course. The B2 course we still have to edit to. And tips for best results, you can read this despite my face being in the way, I hope. Yeah, good. So the key here is repetition. You have to write the same sentence over and over again. But as you've seen in the demo, not rewinding and rewinding and rewinding until you have everything correct. This is absolutely not how you learn German smarter. You learn to live with gaps, with not knowing, with not being perfect. That's the fastest, the smartest, the most pleasant and joyful way to learn any language. Never aim for perfection. You will write every dictation 3 to 6 times because you will review every lesson. And 3 times is more than enough. And as you have seen, first time you just write, leave gaps where you don't understand something. Second time you fill in the gaps, and that's it. Then you compare and learn from your mistakes. Very important. And that wasn't the case in, well, actually it was exactly how we did it in school. That wasn't the worst part. I can pause the audio frequently. So even if after every word you have to pause, totally fine. You're your own master, your own mistress. I know that doesn't work, but they should invent a new word for this. You can do this as you like, as it pleases you, but please not rewinding 5 times until you get everything correct. That's the only thing I say that doesn't go. And you learn to accept gaps. Yeah, nothing more difficult, but nothing more rewarding and relaxing than accepting I am not perfect. I can't do this at this point, and it's absolutely fine. Ah, what a relief. Because there's no one judging you other than you yourself. And then instant feedback is what this tool provides you with. And this is also such a beautiful thing. You don't have to wait for a teacher to correct you and then tell you this is wrong, but maybe this was good. You don't need anyone to give you a clap on the shoulder, even though it's nice, I understand. But understand, where there is praise, there must be blame. Yeah, praise is worth nothing if there's only praise. So why not just skip the whole game and just enjoy and see, oh wow, I've learned something, how beautiful. It's just beautiful, that's all it is. One of the most important things, you can of course do random dictations, but ideally you do dictations with something that makes sense, that comes with a bigger, greater context. And you don't only use dictations as the only tool, even though it will get you far, but you use a series of tools like you can find with my online courses. Because then you have variations, a little bit more, yeah, how do you say that? It's not distraction, yeah, variation. It's just more fun not to do the same all the time. Yeah, eating spaghetti every day might get boring at one point, depending on the sauce. Now, the question is, why do they work? Maybe I can actually put my, here we go. Here we go. Dictations are beautiful. I call them the Swiss Army knife, which is why that's the cover of this webinar. They practice almost all your skills because you have to listen thoroughly, very detailed listening. You can also listen roughly in the second round. You have to read the text while you write. And certain things you cannot hear physically. There's no way you're going to hear the sounds properly, but you will be able to write the word down correctly because of your knowledge of grammar. And that's the beauty. So many people struggle with endings. Einen, einem. If you see my mouth, that works. If you just listen to someone on the phone, for example, einem, einen, especially because we don't speak that clearly all the time, it's impossible. So no need to blame yourself for it. Grammar will help you. Yeah? No, we cannot see any of you. No worries, you're fine. And even though people say there are learning types, yeah, that people say we are visual learners, we are auditive learners, or need to touch things, that theory is debunked long ago. It doesn't work. Nevertheless, it's of course good to implement, to address senses. We learn with our senses, and it addresses several senses, and that is something that is of course proven to increase retention, memorization. if you use several senses to learn one thing, that's always beneficial. Yeah. And the most important thing I find is the real life simulation. If you talk to someone on the street, you will not write a dictation, but you listen to them and you will never fully understand what they say. You will have gaps in your understanding. I have gaps because I'm not attentive, distracted by whatever, or simply can't get the accent or the dialect. But I fill in the gaps with my knowledge, with the context, with my experience, and so will you. And this dictation will practice this, and that prepares you for real life. It's a wonderful, wonderful tool. And some people struggle in the beginning, but that's only because they want to eat too much. They want to write too much. You only write 2-3 sentences, or maybe more, until you make 15 mistakes. You might wonder, how can I know when I make 15 mistakes? Because I have to correct first. Trust me, you write 3 dictations, like 3 different ones, you will get a feeling for how much you can write. And that's another beautiful thing. You will actually become sensitive for making mistakes, and not in a negative way, just like, oh, that was a mistake. Interesting. Let me look at this. Let me correct this. It's a wonderful skill to have and to develop. Yeah. Devashish, I will answer these questions in a few minutes. So you can try this dictation in my A1 to B1 course. The first lesson is for free. You just register. You need to create an account and get a few of our marketing emails, but they're always useful and beautiful, so you will not be spammed, and you can always unsubscribe. It's beautiful to play around with, but don't just do the dictation. Work through the full first lesson. It's mind-blowing. It's a completely different approach, and it works, and it's something you haven't seen before. Yeah, those who already work with me, they're probably already through this. Maybe you can also share something. And even if this is a special offer, you have 30 days to try my courses. And because you can just write me an email and say, hey, Michael, sorry, it's not for me, or my grandmother died, I need my money for the funeral suit. Or fine, I sent you your money. You don't even have to tell me why. And just to give you a little feedback, it's less than 1% of customers who don't like the course. I find that is stunning, yeah, because you can't really please them all. And I totally understand that people have preferences. They might not like my face, which is quite a lot to be seen in the course, yeah. But that's also okay. So there's absolutely no risk. I wouldn't want to buy something for that much money, even though it's discounted and a lot cheaper than the competition, as you can see here, without testing it and without a guarantee. So 30 days money back, easy. And the first lesson is for free to begin with. If you want to study B2, I have a little offer here for a minute. You just write to me. I send you a link to B2 with the same discount. Yeah. Good. So as you can see, my German school, my online course competes with real schools, not with online tools. Online tools they are not comparable with what I've created. But those schools you go to and share a classroom with 20, 30 people with, this is what you pay there. These numbers are real. Yeah. And even in India, you pay pretty much what we pay for the cheapest school, maybe a little bit less. Again, try it for free. It's huge. Yeah, the first lesson is huge. It will teach you so many things.